In last video, we studied about Ashtapradhan Mandal. Second one, the policy regarding agriculture. And third one, village economy of that period. Now, in this video, we are going to study about trade and business. Fifth one, military organization. Sixth one, intelligence department. And seventh one, concern for the welfare of his subject. Maharaj knew that a kingdom does not prosper without an increase in trade. Merchants bring novel goods and also certain necessities into a kingdom. Goods become available in plenty. Trade prospers, adding to wealth. The view that Maharaj took of merchants is seen in the Ajna Patra, where merchants are described as follows. Merchants are the ornaments of the kingdom and the glory of the king. It was the policy of Maharaj to protect industries. An excellent example of this is the salt industry. He protected the salt industry in Konkan. At that time, traders imported salt from the Portuguese territory and sold in Swaraj. That affected the local trade in Konkan areas. So Maharaj charged heavy duty on the salt imported into Swaraj from the Portuguese territory. The intention was that the salt imported from the Portuguese territory would then cost more, and as a result, its import would decrease and the sale of the local salt would increase. Next topic is the military organization. There were two main divisions of the army of Shivaji Maharaj: infantry and cavalry. In the infantry, there were officers such as Havaldar, Jumledar, etc. The chief of the infantry was called Sarnobat. He was the highest officer in the infantry. In the cavalry, there were two types of cavalrymen, namely Shiledars and Bargirs. The Shilidar had his own horse and weapons. The Bargir was provided with a horse and weapons by the state. The cavalry Bargis were more in numbers. The ranks of the cavalry officers were similar to those of the infantry officers. The highest officers in the cavalry was the Sarnobat, Netoji Palkar, Prataprao Gujar, Hambirrao Mohite were some of the famous Sarnobats of the cavalry. Let's obtain information about the armed forces of India. State the names of the three armed forces. They are Indian Army, Indian Navy, and Indian Air Force. Next was, what is the designation of the head of each force? A commander-in-chief of defense staff or supreme commander. Same like that, chief of defense staff, chief of naval staff, chief of army staff. They are commander-in-chief or supreme commander. Next is intelligence department. It was necessary to protect the Swaraj from its enemies. For this, it was necessary to get precise and timely information about the movements of the enemy. It was the job of intelligence department to obtain information about the movements of the enemies and submit it to the Maharaj. The intelligence service of Maharaj was very efficient. Bahirji Naik Bahirji Naik was the head of the intelligence department. He was extremely skilled in his job. He collected accurate and detailed information about Surat before the raid on Surat. Next is forts. Forts were of great importance in the medieval age. Possession of a fort made it possible to keep an eye on the surrounding area. In case of foreign invasion, it was possible to protect the people taking shelter in the fort. It was possible to stock the fort with food grains, war material, ammunition, and military garrison. The importance of forts in the foundation of Swaraj is well stated in Ajna Patra. This kingdom was created by the late, revered, and exalted Majesty forts alone. Do you know the description of the building of forts by Shivaji Maharaj in the treatise Buddha Bhushanam, composed by Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, is remarkable. It is as follows. Shivaji Maharaj built many impenetrable forts on the ridge of plateaus in the Sahyadri mountain range in many places from Karnataka up to Baglan. The intention behind it was to protect this earth. Under his successful leadership, these forts were built from the banks of the river Krishna up to the sea in all the four directions. In the Rairi fort, Raja Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj remained on the forefront among all kings and was victorious. There were about 300 forts in the Swaraj. Maharaj spent a considerable amount of money on the building and repairs of these forts. He built hill forts like Pratapgarh, Pawangarh, and Raigad. There was a Kiledar, a Sabnis, and a Karkhanis on every fort. The Karkhanis looked after the storage of food grains and the maintenance of war material on the forts. Maharaj knew the importance of sea forts too. One of the sea forts that he built was Sindhudurg and at Malwan. It is an excellent sea fort to give strength to the construction of the fort. 5 khandis of lead was poured into its foundation. A sea fort called Padmadurg was built in front of Rajapuri in order to counter the Siddhi power. About this fort, Maharaj has said, About this fort, Maharaj has said in a letter that by constructing Padmadurga, he had set up another Rajapuri to overshadow the Rajapuri of the Siddhi. Next is Navy. Enemies on the west coast of India, the Portuguese of Goa, the Siddhi of Janjira, and the British factors of Surat and Rajapur created obstacles in the work of expanding the Swaraj. It was necessary to curb their activities and to protect the west coast. For this purpose, Maharaj raised a navy. He realized that the one who has a navy controls the sea. Maharaj controls the sea. Maharaj had great foresight. Do this activity. Obtain information about the warships in the Indian Navy and make a collection of the pictures of ships. There were 400 ships of various kinds in his navy. They included battleships like the Gurab, Galbat, and Pal. Ships were built in the creek of Kalyan, Bhivandi, Vijayadurg, and Malwan. Mayank Bhandari and Daulat Khan were the chief naval commanders. Next topic is concern for the welfare of his subjects. Maharaj did not work only with the limited ambition of conquering enemy territories and establishing dominant like other things. His main objective was to make his subject independent. He was aware that if his subjects were to really get the joy of freedom, it was necessary to have a disciplined administration, take comprehensive care of people's welfare, and protect the conquered territories. Maharaj was not merely a ruler, he was a watchful administrator who cared for his people's welfare. This is clearly seen in his administrative of the state. In this chapter, we studied about the administration of Swaraj. We covered the topics of Ashtapradhan Mandal, the policy regarding agriculture, village economy of that period, trade and business, the military organization, intelligence department, sea force, navy, and concern for the welfare of his subjects. So, be connected till the next video. Stay home and stay safe. Thank you.